Is this okay? I think that made it work. Um, Let me just make sure. Okay, cool. Okay, it's working. Okay, so now we can actually get started. Okay, so yeah, there we go. So yeah, welcome to the first solo art workshop of the semester. And we'll be going over shapes today. So I'm Sophie Chaudhry. I'm your art workshops director. We also have John Carlo, who is our Unity workshops director. He's already done his first solo workshop last week, if you saw him. So yeah. First off, I wanted to go over some of the upcoming events we have for EGaDS. Every Thursday, we're going to be having dev nights, either in person or online. This Thursday, it should be in person. So it's in 4.302, one of the rooms we should have used today, but unfortunately didn't happen. Also in 4.304, we're going to be having a speaker night. It's going to be an industry professional coming in. It'll be next week on Tuesday, October 22nd. Yeah, next week, someone from the industry is going to come in and talk about their experience. And we'll have pizza if you want. If you come for food, that'll be cool. It's just a nice way to learn about experience in industry. And then on Monday, September 16th, in 5.304, we're going to be having a Halloween social. We'll have a movie playing in the background. We'll have cookie decorating, and we'll even have a nice cosplay contest. I do want to note, if you're going to do cosplay, make sure it's game themed, because otherwise we aren't counting it. Oh, oh wait, is that not the date? What? Oh wait. Oh wait. Okay. Yeah. Okay. October 16th. Let's just. Uh, not tomorrow. Wait. Not. Wait. It's not 16th. I'm stupid. Hang on. Uh, I had the date right the whole time. It's the 21st of October on Monday. Yeah. Oh wait. Is it the 21st? It's not the 21st. It's not the 21st. 28th. Yeah. 28th of October. What it said the whole time. So yeah, 28th of October, we have a Halloween social, cookie decorating movie cosplay contest. Please make a game themed. Yeah. And then also on the day after, on 29th and 4.304, we're gonna be having a Unity workshop with Giancarlo, like I mentioned earlier. I believe he's gonna be covering how to uh, make your enemies move with AI and not the bad AI, just using it, implementing enemy AI and all that stuff. It's really interesting. And if you want to, our social media, it's all here. I believe all of you learned about this through Discord. So yeah, if you haven't, there it is. It's the best way to keep in contact with us. And also for $10, you can join EGaDS, get a cool shirt like the one I have here. You have lifetime access to the EGaDS LinkedIn group. You have exclusive access to the GDI Career Fair that UT here hosts every year. Uh, and yeah, I also would like to mention if you just want to pay $10 for a past T-shirt, then you can do that. And special thanks to our sponsors, Ingot Skeleton Key, who helps us put on events like this. All right, so now we can actually get into the workshop. So first off, you might be wondering, why are we covering something as basic as shapes? I feel like most of y'all in here know how to draw a square, right? Draw a circle, surely, decently well. So yeah, why are we covering this in depth? The reason is because this is really the basis of art and everything we need to do. So earlier, hang on. Earlier I had a little pumpkin drawing that I made. I don't know if it was good, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, going back, I just kind of took a stock image from Google for this. I hope it's a stock image. If it isn't, and you own it, please do not sue EGaDS. That would be very bad for us. So basically, to start off, I just sort of traced over it, and kind of split it down to its basic elements. So here, the pumpkin, its shape itself is basically just a circle, and then I kind of simplified the eyes to be just basic triangles. You have a little semicircle here for the mouth, and then the stem is sort of triangle shaped, so I just simplified it to that. So that's really sort of the quick draft of it, or a quick sketch or something like that. And then I added one, and after that, I sort of added more details to it. I changed the shape from a circle to a more, you know, uh, more flat at the top and a little bit at the bottom, and then took off a little bit of the stem. And yeah, all of that. And then also added teeth, and then also added a few flat round edges to the eyes. So yeah, and then afterwards I just used a fill tool and colored in all the parts to make it look like a pumpkin. So basically, I sort of lay out some of the basic steps of art. We do have other stuff after this like final drawing, but for now, like what we want to focus on right now is basically taking an image, getting the basic shapes of everything, then refining those shapes to make the work more detailed, and that should give you your final image. So first off, let's go over the basics of shapes because I lied. We're not covering just shapes; we're covering lines. Yay! So yeah, we have basically how every shape is made with using lines. We have straight lines and curves. Now, hang on. At this point, I don't think it would be bad to like go ahead and start working on the what is it? Oh, don't worry about that. Yeah, so at this point, I don't think it would be bad to like get out some your drawing software and go and start doing some stuff with that, because I do think it's really important to make sure you really know how to draw your lines and make them well. So first off, you want to go over some uh, basically straight lines. The way I practice these, I highly recommend before uh, you get into a drawing session, you do some little practice on some of your stuff. Uh, First one you want to like practice is like I said, the straight lines. You kind of just want. Hang on. Let's go ahead and make a quick dot here and then here, and then sort of what you want to do is just sort of from one dot to another, just sort of take your pen and just like hover across the line to make sure you really got the motion down. If you can, try to just use your wrist, not moving your hand. That helps you really keep the line straight. And then once you've got like the motion down, you want to like go ahead and see, like try to strike through a few times. Oh, like I mean, whenever you're like for the drawing motion, use your wrist to like sort of do it instead of like instead of basically moving your hands straight like that, you want to sort of use your wrist to sort of make the motion. So that way you can kind of keep everything in a straight line instead of like sort of wobbling a little bit. So whenever you do that, you will naturally get a curve. But the way you can combat that is basically take your tablet or paper, whatever you're using, and like you want to slant it a little bit, and from there you can sort of get more straight line. And then I, oh yeah. So basically, what you want to do, I was using the wrong brush for this, so let's use one that kind of makes things more visible. Basically, you want to make sure you strike through the line whenever you're practicing multiple times to really make sure you get the motion down. And yeah, just go through a few times, make sure you get the motion down. And then if you want, you can, well, I would recommend doing lines of different lengths, maybe a shorter one, strike through a few times. Let's do a longer one. You know, just for practice, for your warm up, make sure to do these a few times. Uh, well, just that's one of the warm up. If you mess up, just like it's fine. It's not a big deal. Definitely not in front of an audience. They're trying to learn from you. Try some vertical lines. Maybe try a few. Try a few longer vertical lines. You know, I feel like you guys get it. That's fine. And here you can also try a few short lines without dots. Yeah. So next up, for the curves, you want to basically do the same things where you kind of dot them off. So let's see, let's say I want to get a line from there to here. You just sort of practice making a sort of curve a few times. You could try some longer ones. Same thing with the lines. You want to make sure you do these multiple times. Make sure you really know how to do them. Another thing you can do for curves is like, let's do one with 3 points. and we can sort of just like try to cover this whole little arch here. You can do 4 even. That's kind of crazy, but you know, if you can do 4, you're kind of a master. Literally the best drawer in the world. Yeah. And yeah, you can kind of basically just as many dots, try to get some good curves in. Yeah, and those are basically these two like basic lines are kind of what you're going to be using for almost all your drawings. Going back to the slides, we can now that we know lines, we can go ahead and go over shapes. And overall, we're going to be using 3 big shapes for most of our drawings. We have squares, we have triangles, and then we have circles. So, sorry to the people in person who are basically going to be watching me switch scenes for Twitch every 5 seconds. Let's see. So yeah, when it comes to squares, squares are just 4 lines. That's basically 4 straight lines. We want, let's see. Let's go and make it dots for squares. And from here, we just want to do the same thing we were doing for the lines earlier. Strike through multiple times to make sure you have a nice shape. Well, nice line, I mean. Yeah, and let's see. Imagine those lines on the square I made were actually straight, because that's ideal. Yeah. You do want to try different sizes for your squares, maybe different rotations. Let's see. I probably should have asked this earlier, but do you guys want extra time to like practice these squares and also the lines we went over earlier? What are you guys thinking? All right, I'll take that as nothing. Let's see. So yeah, basically try doing different sizes for squares. Make sure you strike through multiple times so it really gets. Make sure it looks. Get the motion down. Let's see. And then after that, you have triangles, which guess what? It's just like 3 lines instead of 4, which is crazy. So yeah, triangles once again. Dot your stuff. Make sure to strike through multiple times. And, yeah, try different sizes so you can get more practice in different sizes. And then finally, what you have to do is the circle. That's the final basic shape. So basically, for the circle is a bit different. You can't really, well, you can dot it off, uh, although I'll go over that in a bit. But for circles, you obviously you want to do straight lines or going back to curves. So generally for that, what you want to do is uh, hover over the paper or the tablet or whatever you're using, and just sort of like make a circle shape with your hands a few times, and then slowly like get the pen onto the tablet or paper, and just go through the circle multiple times. I've been told 4 or 5 times is good to really get a decent sketch. Okay, imagine that circle was done not horribly, yeah, just sort of run through these 4 to 5 times. Once again, use different sizes. Yeah, just sort of practice the shape. Basically, practice shape before you like actually commit to the paper. And then once you do get to the paper, strike through multiple times. That's basically the core of everything that we've done so far. And let's see. I think at this point, I do want you guys to like do some extra practice on your own, just really make sure you guys get it. So let's see, any time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, what do you guys think? All right, let's do 5 minutes. So yeah, we'll just go ahead, get a clock. Yeah, let's do a 5 minute timer. Okay, so yeah, basically for these 5 minutes, just practice your lines, practice your basic shapes, and yeah. Just really make sure you're striking through multiple times. Make sure you got the motion down. Make sure you're practicing different sizes. Oh yeah, I did forget to mention for these circles, something I should have covered was basically you can still dot them off. Something common is to just put a dot at the top and the bottom. Try to make sure you hit both sides like that. Let's see. If you want to go crazy with circle practice, hang on. We have this basically thing when I was doing whenever I started out, where basically you over throughout the whole page you try to make multiple lines throughout of different once again rows of different sizes, and just try to fill the whole page with circles. And yeah, try to hit the top and the bottom. Uh, I did a few times in here, but not great. But just make sure to get that practice that you're hitting top and bottom. Also, since we're doing circles specifically, I do think it's worth mentioning that uh, these over here, this is not a circle. This is not like you can see like it doesn't have a radius that's like the same from every like angle. So you want to make sure it's actually like perfectly round, and that's also why we want to do multiple times to really like try to like get that same like radius for every part of it. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind for circle practice if you want. And then for line and curved line practice, it's basically the same as what we've been doing so far. Let's see. There we go. And also, if you want for circles, you can go not only just top and bottom, but you could just go ahead and dot out the whole thing and just try to hit every dot. Sort of like with the curved line, except it's a full circle. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's all right. So any questions about anything so far? Like on maybe like technique, how to like really get the motion down? Anyone? All right. So moving on. The reason why I stress this so much is basically because like with lines, everything is basically based off these shapes. For example, we can already make some new shapes by simply modifying a few aspects of the basic ones we have here. So, particular, I want to bring attention to rectangles. Oh shoot, I did not show the okay, hang on. So yeah, basically on Twitch, everything is going to be based off these shapes, and we can already like make some new shapes based off the ones we had. For rectangles and ellipses, specifically, hang on. So basically, if you really think about it, a rectangle is just a long square. Uh, technically, it's the other way around geometry, but you know it's a good way to think about it in drawing. Hang on, let me just go ahead and erase some of what's here so far. Yeah, let me go ahead and just erase some of this. So yeah, for rectangles, yeah, that should be enough. Oh, I did not mean to Control Z that because I'm erasing this again. Okay, so yeah. So for squares, you do sort of, so for squares we have the whole just dot out four lines thing. And let me just do one more time quickly just to show, yeah. So yeah, for squares, dot out four lines, uh, and then just do that. And for rectangles, it's basically the same idea, except, you know, you don't have to make the sides the same length. Just dot out four lines, strike through multiple times. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically the idea for a rectangle. And for circles, you have the whole sort of practice the circle motion before getting in. And for ellipses, it's basically the same thing, but once again, just sort of wider. Sort of like that. Yeah, I should actually be slanting these so they don't look slanted on paper or on the screen. Something also to note with ellipses to really make sure they're good is basically for like, you want to have a good center point where it's like, hang on. If I go ahead and strike through the center of these, each like quadrant of the ellipse is sort of similar to each other, and that's how you know it's an ellipse basically. Same thing for circles. Uh, sort of. You can see that. Well, if I actually hit the center of this, like each quadrant is around the same size, and whenever that isn't the case, let's see. I don't know. Let's just do like something like that or something like a teardrop shape. That's what you have in oval. So yeah. So yeah, from the shapes we had, we had already made some like different shapes that are just sort of modified versions of them. And from here, if I go back to the slides, we can try to make more complex shapes. So the big idea for complex shapes is you have shape construction, where basically you take the basic shapes you had, add some extra lines, or maybe just add two shapes together, and then boom, you have a unique shape. So here I have like a heart, a light bulb, a sword, and I can go ahead and show it on here. Let me go ahead and once again erase everything. I could probably just delete the layer, but I didn't think about that until now. So let's not worry about that. see. For shape construction, basically. So first off, I showed off a heart. I need to switch to that on Twitch to make sure that actually is showing. So yeah, for a heart, basically how I would make it is basically you want two circles. That is still in eraser mode. I need to get off of that and also pick the right brush this time. There we go. Okay, so yeah, basically for a heart you want two circles. Let's make them sort of like that. Just put them right next to each other. I think the should be this one. And then basically for the little pointy end of the heart, you kind of want a sort of triangle-esque shape, but really it's just sort of two lines. So let's put a dot there, right in the center. And we want one more dot right here, and one more dot right here, and we can sort of make the two lines like that. And yeah, you have the basics of heart shape, and to really like define it, what I would do is let me just add a new layer. Go ahead. I'm gonna decrease the opacity of this one to really like trace over it. And then from here, what I would do is like sort of retrace over the lines that will actually like make the heart. So let's go ahead. And let's see. Oh, I am on the wrong layer. Oops. Once again, make sure to practice the motion before you actually commit. For like the traditional version, instead of like, I would recommend like doing the original like draft with the actual construction in pencil, and then from there, sort of using like a pen or something to, or marker to like solidify the shape. Just go ahead and like that. So yeah, and obviously not like perfect, but it works. It's a heart. I should probably, you'd probably add a little bit more roundness to here. But yeah, you have a heart shape, and it's completely made by two circles and basically like essentially a triangle. So yeah, and that's sort of the idea I want to get at here, where everything is basically just a couple of the basic shapes put together. Uh, Obviously, the heart is a shape by itself, so let's do something less obviously a shape. So I had a light bulb on here, where basically, let's go back to this layer. What we have is basically, let's go ahead, make this quick rectangle down here, make a square. Actually, it's more rectangle shape. So yeah, we make a rectangle. For the little base of the light bulb, a bit above it, we'll have a little circle. Oh shoot, I did not even do that. Hang on, let's make it a bit bigger. Maybe more like hot air balloon shaped, but it works. I'm pretty sure this should work for the red light bulb. We go ahead and add two dots on the side and just connect the rectangle to the circle. And we have something vaguely, like this is basically a hot air balloon shape, and then to solidify the actual, like, what is it? The actual light bulb, once again, let's go ahead and go up to a higher layer and just sort of trace over it. So yeah, once again, you do want to keep the same sort of rectangle for the base of the light bulb. That should be a straight line. So yeah, go ahead and we have that rectangle for the base, and then we have this for the side, and then cover the light bulb with a sort of rounded top. If I could actually, I should probably put like a, I should probably dot this off up here, but actually I can't do that. Let me just go ahead and add this dot right here to help me round it out. Yeah, that one. This works. There we go. Obviously I didn't hit the dot, but you know, it's fine to change it a little bit. And yeah, you have something vaguely light bulb shaped. And the last one I wanted to cover on there was a sort of sword shape, where basically, although I feel like, yeah, I can go ahead and once again, here's something I want to do is like, once again, give you like 5 to 10 minutes to sort of like do a bunch of like your own shapes using the shapes we all recovered, kind of just constructing your stuff. Quickly want to show, here's a few shape constructions I made whenever I learned about this. Oh, if I could actually scroll through it, that'd be good. So yeah, you can sort of, hang on. You can't really see it that well for some of these, but hang on. Like for the star, for example, I kind of, like, I don't think you can see it that well, but like on here, I would probably make this like part right here a triangle and just do another triangle behind it and sort of make this final line to connect these two dots. And then from there, trace over, make the final star. I'll probably show this how I made the sword. Well, how I would make the sword today. I don't think it's that great right now. Uh, yeah. Oh, for these like other shapes, you have these little curved lines. You can see the dots right here if you look closely. And I sort of just did a massive curve. You could also like construct it by using multiple circles, or like you just sort of make a big circle here, sort of maybe an ellipse right here, another ellipse, and then trace over the outside of all that. So yeah, let me just go ahead, add 5 minutes again, and then we can just go ahead and spend that time making our own shapes. So, yeah. Uh, while you guys are doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and do the little sword that I mentioned earlier, and then afterwards I'll probably just be showing some other stuff on here, like just other shapes you can make. So yeah, for a sword, I kind of quickly want to make a sort of upside down cross shape. So you have this basic rectangle that'll sort of be both the hilt and the actual like part of the blade. I think that I should probably make this longer. That works. Okay. Just got it out here. And then for the rest of the, oh wait, I need to actually make it a rectangle. That should probably be helpful. A bit too small for what it should probably be, but it works. Let's see. And for little handle, you want another rectangle down here. And then finally for the blade, to really finish it off, you want to sort of triangle at the top. And then switch layers and go ahead and finally just trace over the outside to really solidify it as a sword. Okay, and imagine this part's a bit longer than what it actually is. So yeah, basically just get an idea for your shape, break it down to what its basics are, and then just from there make something sort of different. See, let's make like a flower. You probably want a big circle in the center. I'm on the wrong layer yet again. And then for the petals, let's go ahead and make a few extra circles on this side. Maybe more wood shape for those. For the final like lane for the circle, like basically what you would do in pen or marker or whatever for let's see, if you're doing traditional, you probably just want to do, you don't want to do the whole like run through like multiple times. You kind of just want a solid sort of trace over of what you have, and probably just do it kind of slowly, and it should something that works right now. That, although for well, guess we're out of time. Do you guys want more time to work on this, or all right? So let's just go ahead. All right. So you can kind of get the idea that basically everything is sort of from those basic shapes. And going back, I should probably use my mouse. Oh. So going back to the slides, that's basically shape construction for 2D shapes, but something is basically 3D shapes are basically the same sort of thing, where basically you have the 2D shapes, and just from there, sort of just like abstract from there, like add extra lines and extra shapes to sort of create the actual illusion of depth. So basically, I'm just gonna go over these shapes over here, and let's see, and from there, you go ahead and finish up the first part of what I wanted to cover. So yeah, let me go delete this layer. Actually, yeah, I'll just delete both of these, and then so I don't have to erase everything. Yeah. Okay, so basically, so let's start off with a few boxes. First off, I kind of want to do a cube. So a cube, the base of it is going to be, I feel like some of you might have seen, hang on, making a cube basically using two squares. You sort of do this. This is sort of the front of the cube. We have the sort of back. And then from there, you can sort of use a line to sort of connect these. And you can have a cube shape right here. Although another way that I've learned how to do it is basically you have a single line, make this line, and sort of from there try to estimate the size and just sort of add the extra line over here. Make a sort of this sort of square shape. For the cube, make sure these like any line that's next to each other sort of like uh, parallel to each other. Like this line and this line should be parallel. So like, and then this line and this line should be. So yeah, that's one square. It's gonna make. Let's see, let's make the front. Yeah, basically what's really important for any type of like box like this is to make sure the lines are parallel to each other, so that like if they were to go on, you don't want them to cross. Otherwise, they'll make the image look a bit distorted. Uh, so yeah, basically what I would do is basically before I make this line, I basically just like copy the motion that I made for this line over it, and once I have that motion like in like my muscle memory, just like go over here and just like start drawing the last one. That's also how I do for this line. That's still off. So yeah, that's the sort of cube for you. And well, some it's a bit distorted. I did a bit of what I shouldn't have done, but whatever. And then once again, sort of for the final trace over for these, you sort of like just sort of do one and done. So that's sort of the idea for the cube there. And for this cube where I use the other method, I would only really trace over the parts that you can see from the outside. Like you wouldn't trace like this inside part there. Although it isn't a bad idea to still draw it, just to make sure you have like a good what is it? Like really make sure like geometrically everything makes sense. And I'll probably go more in depth on that in the future like shape on cover. And by future shape I mean it's just a rectangular box inside of a cube. So yeah. Basically a big idea for 3D shapes is just same with sort of the 2D is only trace over the ones that are like make sense from like a like from like a perspective sense. Like a person won't really see these like three lines on the inside here, so don't need to trace over that. But like I said, still it wouldn't be bad to draw it anyway, just to make sure everything works out geometrically. Which we'll go over again for this one. For the next shape I want to cover is basically just like same sort of thing, just like a box but rectangular. Basically, you go ahead and start by making a quick line here. Make sort of rectangle shape up top. Actually, I should be using a different brush. Same idea as the cube. Make sure every line is parallel. Feel free to like just go over your original lines to sort of copy the same motion for the next one. And as I said for the cube, feel free to draw the inside lines to make sure everything makes sense. Especially with a rectangular box, since it's longer, it's more likely that you're gonna mess up with the hand movement, maybe be even more wobbly. So it's probably good to just really make sure everything looks good in terms of, yeah. Yeah, and then once again, once that little draft is done, go ahead and trace over the parts that a person will actually see. Okay, so yeah, that's a rectangular box. Next up is a pyramid, where basically, actually, hang on, let me make sure. I have been streaming to Twitch, right? I have not been streaming any of these to Twitch. Oh god. Well, oops. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and show what we have here. Where basically you have the square, you have sort of drew these lines out. Basically, everything is just sort of the lines that we had before, and you trace over the lines to make sure they're actually like, what is it? Trace over the lines that are actually shown to the, like, to whatever the perspective is. Another example for this will be a pyramid, where basically you want to, let's see. for a pyramid, you want to first dot out a square. Or I guess it could be a rectangular pyramid. I'll use square for now. And that square will be the base. This is where like the perspective and like making sure you really like solidify the lines that the person can actually see is what really matters, because you do really want to make sure you draw this line as a base, because after you draw your square, you kind of want to like connect draw out the diagonals of the square or the rectangle, and from there you should get a center point. Well, the reason we want that is because we want to draw a line straight up from the diagonal, and that's where the point of the pyramid is. So basically, draw a square, draw their diagonals, from there get a center point, and from the center point, draw a straight line to get the top. And from there, you want to connect each corner to the top. Although I will say, I think I messed up, because you can see like this perspective doesn't really make sense, and it's because like I feel like you can kind of see both this side right here, this triangle, and also this triangle from the way I drew it, and and I think the reason for that is because I didn't do what I said earlier, where it's like keeping the lines parallel, where I think like this line goes like a bit off in this direction, while this line actually is straight, I think. So let me go and I probably want to redraw that to make sure like it's actually parallel. And then, yeah. And once again, to finalize it, just trace over whatever lines they can actually see. Yeah. For a pyramid, like what is it? So for these cubes and like the boxes, you can sort of tell like, oh, you're supposed to see these three sides. Here you're supposed to see these three sides. For a pyramid, usually like you're gonna have your little base at the bottom, and then you have two sides that you can actually see. And then the other two should be a bit obscured. Although if you want to like draw the base, hang on. Hang on. I'll just go ahead and draw like a sideways pyramid to show that off. Let's just go ahead. Let's make a square, like, well, let's make a rectangle this time. Cut this off. Let's get this rectangle shape going. Get diagonal. Here's the center. And from here, let's go ahead and draw the line sort of going this way. And we'll sort of have the top like here. And then once again, connect the four corners. Yeah, lines are getting a bit messy, so try to keep track of where each line is. Yeah. And then, let's see. Once again, we'll go ahead and trace over. So the viewer should be able to see the face. and then the viewer really should only be able to see this side. The way I drew it. So yeah, since like, so yeah, that's sort of how you draw it from base. And you could sort of make it, I think you could sort of make it so you can see three sides if you draw like sort of, I'm not going to do the sketching process since I kind of want to make sure I actually finish everything I want to cover in time. But like basically you could do, let me see, you sort of have this line go out from here to sort of, something like that, where basically like you have so basically this is sort of, I guess this is sort of like a very rough sketch of what it should be, and then from like actual like line art you should sort of have something like this. Although once again you can really only see two sides, so yeah, maybe, yeah, maybe not. So yeah, basically I guess for pyramids, keep in mind you can usually only see two sides. Maybe if I checked it a lot, then you can see it. Let's see. And then let's see. The next one form I want to cover. So these are like some basic forms, and using only straight lines. And once again, we have to remember that their curved lines exist. So let's go over the round forms. Where basically, first off, you have like a cone, which is basically what we just did for the pyramid, except you make it the base of circle. So let's do that. You have the circle base. And then let's see. You might remember with the ellipse, we sort of had these little sides to make sure each quadrant was equal. We sort of want to draw those again. And from once again, we have a center point. You go draw straight up, get that top point, and then draw. You don't really want to draw these two from it because that'll make it look less round. Like you just want the 2 points that are opposite from each other, not all four. You have a cone, and then let's once again draw over what the viewer can actually see. And then you'd want to draw this little curve right there. I will say for this one, like I feel like for most of these, the 3D is a bit like limited whenever you don't know lighting, and I will probably like try to cover that in a future workshop. But basically, this is like the basic of like getting the form down essentially. So yeah, that's sort of how cones look. I'll also show like what the base is going to look like if you draw that facing the viewer. Let's do, also for this one, we'll do a little more elliptical base. And once again, sort of like connect the top to only like the two dots off to the side. You basically don't want to do like the dots that are like, you don't want to do the dots that are closest to the viewer or the ones that are farthest. You want to do the ones in between. And then trace over. And then you can go ahead and draw the base like you would draw any ellipse. And yeah, I think it's sort of a cone object right there. All right, and then the final like 3D shape I want to cover is a cylinder, where you basically it's basically just two circles connected by two lines. So you have a top circle, or ellipse, I guess, top bottom ellipse, and then put two dots on the side of each. Probably should have done better at actually making the ellipse the same size, but too late now. And then we just draw a line down, connecting each side to each other, or each circle. And then once again, make sure to trace over what the viewer can see. Something I would be careful of whenever you're drawing these like rounder ones is like sort of, you can see it really pronounced here, although I do think like it's kind of pronounced in like this one also, where like it's sort of become pointy where it's supposed to be a round, like right here. You really want to make sure the whole circle is like round like that. And yeah, once again, let's go ahead and draw. Well, the base is sort of like same sort of thing we just did. So yeah. So yeah, those are all like the 3D shapes I wanted to cover. And I assume you guys can get from this that like how much everything is based off the basic shapes we went over earlier. Where like, you know, the cylinder is basically just two circles put together, cube is just a bunch of squares put together. Uh, the pyramids we have the triangles and the square put together. Cone is triangle plus circle, etc. And basically this is like how it's going to be for almost all art we're going to go over. And let's see. Yep, we should have time to do this. So, after going over all of that, I really want to go through some game art with you guys and see if we can go and break down the stuff at each art to its basic shapes. If I could. Oh, I'm having trouble with the Twitch. Oops. That's not good. Okay, there we go. So yeah, let's go over some shape breakdowns. So basically what I mean by shape breakdown is if we go back, once again, all the way back, well, you know what, let's go over the shape construction also. Basically, you take whatever shape you want, heart, sword, whatever, and sort of just break it down to its base elements. So yeah, for this heart, you have two circles and a triangle sort of shape. The sword has a sort of rectangle here, rectangle right here, and then a bunch of round parts on them. Light bulb, rectangle, circle right here, and then sort of like a line right here connecting all of that. So yeah, that's what I really want to like get to in terms of shape breakdowns. So I mentioned this earlier. Does anyone like have a specific character they want to like analyze or anything like that? All right, that's fine. We can go with everyone's favorite character, Mario. Everyone loves Mario, right? So something I also want to mention for this, the sort of program I've been sort of using uh, to sort of show some of this stuff. You can like I use it for these. Uh, let's see. I do want to mention this quickly is PureRef. I like this program a lot because it's just a really good way to like show, organize reference images, and the main reason I want to mention that is, hang on. Oh wait, I need to actually show it Twitch. So yeah, showing on Twitch, QRF is this program right here that I was using to show like these circle images and then these like beginner stuff. So yeah, let's just go ahead, delete those. And the main reason I want to mention this is, let's go ahead, look up Mario. I have a specific image I have that I want to look at. Yeah, this one. So yeah, let me go ahead. So there are two big things I like about PureF is that you can just take this Mario and just sort of drop it in here, and it's already in there. It's nice. So yeah, you can sort of have that, and on top of all of that, if we go ahead and right click on here, we can click mode, and I believe it's overlay section. And yeah, you can see right here we have it sort of showing over everything. We don't have a window in the background. And what's great is if I go back to Krita, go back to the Mario we have, we can go and click mode, always on top. And we can always just have this guy off to the side so we can look at it whenever we want. And yeah, it's very nice. It's a nice feature that. So yeah, I highly recommend PureRef so that I can just do that. Let me move a little bit so I can delete the layers. Yeah, oh, this is locked. That's fine. There we go. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead. I'm gonna do like one shape breakdown, like with you guys to sort of like get everything, and then and then from there we can sort of like I guess leave it up to you. So first off, when it comes to the first shape breakdown we want to do, I want to go back to the pumpkin we did. I showed her off earlier. Hang on. Mario can just sit in the corner, having a dandy old time. Yeah, going back to the slides. So going back all the way to the pumpkin, I really want to like emphasize just how basic you want to be at the start of everything. So like here, like on this first one, I don't include these little curves you can see on like the pumpkin right at the edge of the eyes. I don't include the teeth for the first shape breakdown. I don't for the stem. I use a whole triangle and I don't try to cut it off too much. That's you really want to be simplistic when you're going off of the first like shape breakdown because you don't want to go too detailed so that in like the basic draft you don't want to go detailed. That's for later drafts and later sketches and all that stuff. And then so yeah, you really want to go basic with your shapes and then add the details later. Like afterwards, then that's when I added the curves. Then that's when I added the teeth. That's when I added like the little cutoff of the stem. So first off, going back to once again the art program, and we can go and look at Mario. And speaking of being simple, there's nothing wrong with first starting off with a stick figure. So here we have Mario. Let's just put him closer here. I do also want to mention, like, for these, this is like sort of, you could just trace over this, let, but I don't think that's really what we want to do right now. I think like I really want to like help you guys like do the art without tracing, basically. So for the little Mario guy right here, let's just go ahead and do a basic stick figure first to like really get the gesture down. So for like the face, you can just use a massive big circle. You can sort of do that. Actually, I probably should be using the other brush. Okay. So yeah, big circle over the head. Really basic elements. And from here we have, let's see, we can sort of, let's see. We could have once again like a bit of a circle for the body, I think. Like sort of like this is sort of like an oval shape right here. So let's just go ahead and do that. And then from here, we can use like a little actual stick figure like arms quickly. Granted, this head should be bigger. But yeah, like I said, from here you can already start to like see, like from the way I drew this arm, you can tell, oh well, because this head was too far away, I must have drawn the head too small, and then like You can sort of get the proportions down before you start going to the more detailed stuff. This hand can be like sort of, once again, another circle. A lot of circles in Mario, I guess. Although I will say for this sort of, but yeah, notice for here I'm just doing the head and the body. I'm not including like these buttons. I'm not going over the mustache yet. Let's see. I think this arm can be more of a rectangle rather than a stick figure. I really went for the like stick figure drawing for this arm, mainly because like not much of it is showing. So yeah, for this arm, I could go for an actual rectangle. I think that should be like up here. And then this other part should be like down here, sort of. Yeah, we can do that. Let's see. This sort of leg can once again sort of be another circle, sort of connected to the bottom, basically connected to his butt. And then finally, this is sort of like just like rectangle for the pants. You can sort of have that. Go from there. You can go and maybe round off this part if you want. And then from there, finally, like finish it off a little bit like circle for a shoe. And that's sort of like the basic like copying, like quick shape breakdown for Mario. And then from there, you can go even like more. You can start actually adding more details. Like, oh, we can add circles or button, rectangle for that, and then overall, you just break that down. Like, break everything down to its basics, and then from there, just add details. So yeah. Uh, let's see. Any questions about that? Let me make sure I'm actually streaming this. Yeah. So let's see. Uh, yeah, we definitely have time to do another one. Let's see. I assume you guys don't have any specifics on what guys want to do. Let's see. I think we could probably do something a bit more complex. Let's see. What's a good video game character? Let's go ahead and ask Google what character we should do. Actually, Snake might be a good one because it's less cartoonish. We're gonna have less of the whole circle thing we did with Mario, and also I think I could actually do the whole stick figure thing better with Snake. Let me just go ahead. Hang on. Disable overlay. I probably shouldn't have deleted the Mario so I can like didn't have to do this disable overlay thing. Shoot, I need to get off from top. Oops. Yeah, just go do this. Add this guy here. Make him bigger. Then always on top. Overlay selection. There we go. So yeah, let's do the snake. Okay. So first off, okay. So once again, let's just go ahead and we can start off with the head. I think this head is sort of rectangular shape, so let's go and do a quick small rectangle on there. Actually, I'm wondering something. Yeah, we can sort of have this rectangular shaped like head right there, and then from here, like these arms, this like for this basic breakdown, I don't want to include the arms. I think I want to just like include this massive rectangle for sort of like that's including like the top of his body up to like his belt. And then actually, this is more of a triangle shape, where it's like you can see like sort of like the point here. Yeah, let's do that. You can sort of do this little triangle. This back here should be the shoulders, and like the gun can be like here, I think, something like that. something. I think this looks great. And then we have this sort of, once again, sort of rectangle going down from around here, I think. Yeah, have like this rectangle part going down. And then here we can, this is kind of where the stick figure stuff comes in. We can sort of like, from here we can sort of quickly like just get a quick bend of the leg right here. That was way too bendy. Just go ahead. Okay. Sort of. Okay. This is just for quick like stick figures are just good for like get off the gestures of everything very quickly. So yeah, that's sort of what we're going for Snake. All right. And yeah, that's basically the basics. Well, yeah, that's just the basic of everything, and we just sort of after that, this is where we start building off from. All right, and then let's see. For this last one, let's see. Do we have actually? Would this be the last one? Well, either way. Let's see. For this, I want to see if you guys can do one like by yourself, like do a basic shape breakdown by yourself. If you guys, let's see. Once again, do you guys want me to like assign you one, or do you want like to like figure out one yourself? Let's see. I can go ahead and just drop one on here. Let's see. What are video game characters are we using Google? Don't want to do Sephiroth. I think that'll be fun. So yeah, for this one, let's just go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and drop him in here. Yeah, he's there. He's there. He's just kind of small. Just don't worry about it. So yeah, for this guy, I'm just gonna make him real big. And I think if I can, let's see, we can go ahead and get rid of Snake for now. I do not want the Final Fantasy Wiki right now. I'm sorry. So yeah, we'll just make him a little big, and I want you guys to sort of like figure out how to break down the shapes yourselves. And remember, let's see, for like, I will also give a hint. Like, don't be afraid to use stick figures. Like, this sword can just be like a stick. You don't have to like go sort of like a super small rectangle for it or something. Let's see. If I could like freeze this, and then we could like compare at the end, that'd be nice. But hang on. Zion, do you know if I can freeze the display on here? Like freeze it, like just yeah.
Blank display.
Actually, I don't think. Yeah, that's not. Oh, whoops, that's not bad. That's not good. There we go. Here it's okay. Yeah, that's actually. Hang on. Yeah, no, I don't think that'll work. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I guess I'll just have to keep them up. Yeah, let's go ahead and keep it over here for you guys to do it. So yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and keep it up there. Give you guys. Let's see. Once again, this guy is sort of supposed to be very like don't go too detailed with it. So I think 5 minutes sounds pretty good for it. All right, so yeah, here we go. There's your 5 minutes. Granted, you got a bit of extra time, but whatever. So yeah, we'll just do that, and I can go ahead and look at them, I guess, after. y'all want me like play music or anything while you guys are drawing or something like that? All right. All right. So looking at myself, I feel like I might have honestly given you guys too much time because like I feel like when it comes to Sephiroth's design, I didn't like actually looking at it. I feel like it's honestly like obviously like if you're going up for the details, it's a bit crazy, but like for just like the basic shape, it's honestly pretty simple. So you have like, hang on, I'm gonna go ahead and make it big so I can really show you guys what I mean. So like here we sort of have like this sort of like triangular shape right here from like its shoulders as the base, going into sort of like where his belt is or whatever, the sort of thing binding his like jacket tighter is. You can sort of like make this sort of triangular shape. Uh, and then once again, same sort of thing for the sort of end of his jacket. We have this sort of like thing right here. then let's see. I think from here you can go ahead and do some stick figure type arms, and then do that for a sword. And then let's see. Let me actually draw this out quickly so I can like also like show what I mean in like a drawing sense. So I think sort of like these are like his shoulders, and then these sort of tighten into, let's see, around here, and then sort of from here you just sort of like that, and then for the rest of his body, let's see, yes, so yeah, also once again, simple break shapes to sort of help you with proportions, because here I can tell, okay, yeah, this is like definitely around where it's supposed to be. And from here, his jacket sort of flows like pretty far down into like here. Yeah, I'm not doing a good job at actually keeping everything straight, but you know, it's fine enough for what for just a quick demonstration. And then we can sort of have this final like thing here. Yeah. So sort of that's like his sort of like body shape sort of thing. Very dressed like, which I think is very funny for Sakura. Let's see. You can sort of have this little line, stick figure arm going out like here, I think. And we have sort of, let me go ahead and pull this side. Space here. Yep. So yeah. And then let's see. This sort of from his shoulder right here, we can sort of do another stick figure arm for like the one holding his sword. Have the sword sort of, let's see, bring this up, bring this up. Have the sword sort of like go. I forgot how long Sephiroth's sword is. It like goes like really far out here. So yeah, that's that, and then sort of have these little stick figure type legs coming out of like here and then here. And then for the head, we can sort of just have, I think an ellipse works. Where we can, oh, yeah, for the head, quick ellipse off the top. If I could actually move, that'd be nice. There we go. So yeah, quick ellipse on the top right here. So and yeah, there we go. We have, and yeah, that's sort of how I would break it down. Let's see. So yeah, I think that's all for this workshop. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions, all right. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you.